Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone. Happy Thursday, fellas. 1 day away from Valentine's Day. I don't know if you guys have any plans. I certainly don't. Today's actually National Side Chick Day. I don't know if you guys knew that. We'll talk about that later. But I want to waste no more time bringing in our friend of show, Gab Gotti, our first reoccurring guest on the Big Factor ever, I might as well say. Gab, how you doing today?
I'm great. You know, we're in the wonderful city of Cleveland, Ohio. Who has it better than us?
In February.
Don't talk about the football team, okay?
Absolutely nobody. Yeah. Did you guys know that today is National Side Chick Day?
I did not.
No. I just found that out from Josh and
Maria.
What's
that entail? Because I know what like National Hug Day or so what's National Side Chick Day?
It's you get your side chick, do something nice for them while you don't have to. Well, tomorrow's the big day for them.
Right.
So it's
right.
usually not that I would know. Not that I would know. This is just
who
what
are you
I've
guys
been
buying
told.
flowers for today?
This has to be Future's holiday, right?
Yeah.
Future's got like
Future and Tristan
he's got a deep
Thompson.
roster. Tristan does have a deep roster.
I'm buying flowers for absolutely nobody today because I'm loyal to absolutely nobody because I don't have a
I love how you looked at me when you said it, though.
The Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Guardians, and the Cleveland Cavs.
Jack and Ryan are going to give flowers to each other. It's going to be the most wholesome.
Oh, that's cute.
Well,
I know.
I'll make a prediction, Jack. You'll have a girlfriend by the end of 2025. And speaking of predictions,
Let's go.
Are we that shocked? Is that like a crazy prediction?
Yeah, he said I almost shared on air and I won't, but he said he's going to go out for St. Patrick's Day and he's going to dress up like a leprechaun. And I did tell him earlier today that's a great way of finding love. Like
talk about an icebreaker.
That in and of itself is, it's a conversation piece. Like you're going to be downtown in Cleveland, like St. Patrick's Day, huge festivity in a leprechaun outfit. Like
here's
icebreaker, combo starter.
Gab, could you entertain us? Help us out here for a second. So theoretically,
What's up?
pretend you're a woman on the streets of Cleveland on March 17th, right? So if I walk up to you in a leprechaun costume and I'm like, wow, aren't you lucky to meet me because I got the leprechaun costume on? Do you think that'll go over well?
I would laugh in your face.
Okay, hey.
I would still be laughing and you'd be talking to a woman.
And that's better than most guys do on a
step
daily
one.
basis.
That's step one. A lot of people
Yeah,
forget
that's
about the
step one.
critical step one.
Way to empower, Gab. Way to
Broke down
empower.
step one.
I have heard to get a girlfriend, you actually have to open your mouth and talk to them.
You got the weather app has to be deleted for 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can't be on the weather app in the corner on your leprechaun
I love
outfit.
those memes.
I think women will want to take photos with you though. That'd be a good photo op. So you'd meet a lot of women. And then you go tag me on Instagram, then you guys can become friends.
Yeah, so you start talking to him a bit more. Okay, yeah, there we go. So now we got a Gab Gotti, offensive coordinator.
I don't know though. I think Rob, who does socials for us, is gonna take some offense with the IG strategy because Jack has and maybe this is out in his business a little bit, but Jack has a little bit of a reputation around these parts.
I can snap it around
as what Rob Watson would title a DM demon, which I had never heard of
DM
before.
demon? Oh my God, what are you sending to these women?
I don't know.
Okay, nothing bad. Let's bet.
His move, and this is
back
courtesy of Daniel Booby Gibson, friend at Big Play.
Yeah.
Jack likes to go the technique. He learned this from Booby.
Yeah.
He slides in, doesn't say anything because you don't want to be too straightforward.
Okay.
Just sends them a simple smiley face and a teddy bear emoji, right?
Yeah.
Just the teddy bear emoji.
That's
yeah.
the
Just a
Booby
teddy
You're
bear
sending
emoji.
that to women?
No.
Gab, if somebody slid
That's
in your
that's what
DMs,
Booby told him.
if
to
somebody
do.
slid in your DMs and threw like a smiley face and a teddy bear emoji, are you responding?
I would be freaked out.
Fair enough, Jack.
We're learning a lot. I mean, we're learning the whole
holy
game
moly.
plan.
I don't know. Instagram's my favorite dating app though.
Is it considered a dating app?
I mean, it's
It's not, but it's
Because
mine.
there's photos.
What?
Is that what you're saying? Because there's photos, it's like a dating app almost.
I don't know. It's like a fun way to flirt. Like you like my story, I'll like yours, but we'll never talk.
Fair
And then
enough.
eventually we might. Who's to say?
Yeah.
That is pretty 2025.
Dude,
Right.
me and Cam like met on Instagram. Well,
Oh, did
we
you?
went
I
to the
knew
same
that.
high
Did
school.
you tweet
but I
out a
didn't know.
like for a TBH and what is it? Yeah,
No,
it's like for
dude.
a TBH like they used to do.
I wasn't like 16. No, this is like only a few years ago, Ryan. Jeez.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you right now that if a man sent me like a teddy bear emoji, I would think like, is this man trying to like murder me?
Cam
Like, what is he trying to do?
DM'd me first. So that
Oh,
just goes
whoa. What'd she say?
The fellas that are out, I honestly don't even remember. But the fellas that are out there, if she wants you that much, she'll shoot her shot sometimes. So like we went to the same high school, so we had like a bunch of mutual friends. Like I knew of her, but I had never met her. So it was one of those.
My DMs are dry as a desert. I don't know about you, Jack, but
All right, we got to move on. How did we
predictions-
get here?
Predictions, because I predicted Jack's gonna have a girlfriend by the end of 2025, and you guys, I it's probably what you guys made it seem like it's plus 4,000.
I mean,
I
that's
don't know.
just
We were
hurtful.
just
That's just hurtful.
We were just
Okay.
celebrating.
I didn't say that. You guys reacted like that. Those were the odds. But speaking of predictions, Bill Nye, the
3,500.
science guy, by the way, he gave out his 2025 prediction that the Cleveland Guardians will be MLB champions, hoisting the World Series trophy. Guys, Bill Nye taught me a lot in school. Super smart guy. This is just another example of Bill Nye the genius.
Dude, there was nothing better, and I mean nothing. And this is coming from someone that was pretty like bad at school. When the substitute teacher came and like rolled in the TV cart, like you knew those type of kids too. Like there was a very specific type that would just get the look in their eye, like they knew there was no work getting done. Like and Bill Nye gets thrown on the TV. Like the worst was though then when the packet came out, and like there was like something to actually like something educational to do afterwards. But yeah, I think our entire generation grew up on Bill Nye, so kind of cool to see him pick the Guards to win the World Series.
Yeah, it was cool. I remember it was Bill Nye, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with News Depth. We would always watch these News Depth pieces. It was that and Bill Nye was my childhood.
Maybe I'm dating myself in the wrong direction here, but Tim and Moby was really big when I was in grade school.
Brain Pop. That was Brain Pop,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you know Tim and Moby? The orange looking robot?
Yeah.
Gab, is this I've never heard of that one, I don't think.
No, I'm way older than everybody here, so.
Wow, that's crazy. Never heard of Brain Pop.
I
But
know.
we all have
I'm
Bill.
like
We all
grandma.
had Bill.
Group,
Gab,
so-
you were a chemist, right?
Yeah,
So
I
wh-
was as a woman in STEM, I loved the Bill Nye prediction. How can you argue science? I mean, a lot of people are, but like I'm not going to argue science right now.
Well, we all know
I
that
won't be.
Bill Nye is a genius, like I said. He's taught
course.
us a lot of things. I mean, hey, not a bad prediction. We got close last year.
Inertia is a property of matter.
However, I have a bone to pick here.
Please.
A slight bone to pick, if that. So being the entertaining sports network that we are here on the shores of Lake Erie at Burke Lakefront Airport, big play. I reach out to Bill Nye. I imagine there's a team behind this guy. Pull up his website, find his contact info. Like we got to get him on Big Play Cleveland, right? Him, me, McNeil, Gab. Like that would be fun. Talk some science, talk some guards. Like he was on MLB Network, so like he's got to know a little bit of ball. So throw him an invite onto
He's
the
a ball
program.
knower.
And Ryan, we've got the email here. Now I just want to point out that this screenshot was taken at 12:30. Was when I was rejected here, where it says, "Hi Nick, thank you for reaching out. We have to kindly pass on an interview at this time, but appreciate you for thinking of him." I sent my initial email at 11:28 a.m. So it took them just a little bit over an hour to decline. They shot it out of the sky. And I'm upset. I think Bill Nye would have been a great fit.
I think us all being in the media industry, though, we can appreciate a quick response, even though it's not the one we wanted.
Yeah.
We've made some strides in big play just the last year. 2026, maybe we won't get big time by Bill Nye.
Maybe, yeah. If we're in the prediction business, then yeah, maybe 2026 is the year we get him on,
All right. Well, spring training, obviously.
or after the World Series. How about that? After we
if they
win
win,
the World
yeah.
Series and he looks like a genius.
That would be awesome.
No,
I'm
he'll be
telling
way
you.
too big time for us then.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's true.
Gab,
Damn
spring
it.
training right around the corner. We are so we're going in the wrong way, guys.
through that.
Stop,
Yeah, like,
stop
we're being
making
real here.
sense. You're making too much sense for this
Using
show. We don't
science.
do that very often. But spring training right around the corner, guys. The weather is still bad, but you can see signs of it starting to turn. Gab, how excited are you for this Guardian season?
Well, I'm going to spring training.
Yeah,
hell
I'll be
yeah.
there the first day booing the Reds.
Dude, I'm gonna be there.
Are you?
Yeah, we gotta.
Okay,
get
we'll boo together. We'll hold. I don't want to roast Tito right now, but like we can boo him.
Yeah. Oh
We
yeah.
can boo him.
Do we
Yeah.
boo Tito, guys?
Yes.
I
You
mean,
think so?
Dude, it's at a spring training game. Like, yeah, get rowdy. February.
Come on, give us
22nd.
something to live for here.
Yeah, in Goodyear, Arizona. Come on, Tito. Really? You went to the
The Ohio
Reds?
Cup starts in Goodyear, Arizona.
Yeah,
It
in
means more.
February. I mean,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
it means more. I mean, yeah, if we're gonna start treating the Ohio, everyone says that the Ohio Cup doesn't get enough run. This is what brings the Ohio Cup to relevancy. Like, this is what puts it on the ilk of some of the great rivalries in sports. Like, it starts with me and Gab chirping at
Hyping
Tito
it
in
up.
the bleachers at Goodyear.
Gab, are you a good shit talker?
I can say anything to anyone at any time.
Fair
yes.
enough.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys really would
Actually,
boo
people
Tito?
don't want to like talk shit to me. I feel like I would say if you go low, I'll go lower than you could ever imagine.
Here's the thing, Gab. With our,
will.
I feel like the crowd at spring training isn't necessarily like the boo
No.
Terry Francona crowd. Like me and Gab will be by far
Yeah. Oh,
the youngest people.
It'll be
in
a
there.
bunch of baseball heads retired. 100%.
Right.
Yeah, there's a ton of old people
Yeah.
that live like in that area that just like this is their
Yeah.
Super Bowl. You know.
We just we sat through Eric Wedge and Manny Acta and just watched our team get blown out year after year and go 80 and 80. And we're gonna boo Tito at spring training?
Yes.
What did he do?
Dude,
He left for health reasons.
It's National
Do you
Side
want
Chick
us to
Day.
be
We can
good
do
fans
whatever
or
we
not?
want.
Like, I'm loyal to my team.
Boo. I don't know what's to say. Why would you not boo?
Jack,
Will
Maleka,
Benson
I'll
then?
boo him too. I'll boo Brian Shaw. I'll boo everyone on that team.
Okay, fair enough.
Jack, because
You
listen to
you
this.
got Jack. You hooked Jack with booing Brian Shaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not.
That's an easy one. Jack, listen to this, though. Like, okay, he was our manager for a really long time. Had a lot of great memories with him. You know, great, celebration with his retirement. You know, I still have my thank you Tito shirt crumbled up in a ball in my closet somewhere. He was a legend here. Retires for health reasons, goes off a legend, takes a 7-month break, 8-month break, and he's right back at it with not just any team, but the Cincinnati Reds right here in Ohio. Like, come on, Tito, really?
Dude, it'd
Did
be
he
one
win you a
thing.
World Series?
Nope.
No, he did not.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's not celebrate Jose Ramirez then because he hasn't won us
He's
a World
still on the
Series.
team.
yet,
He's still on the
not
team.
yet.
He's still on a team. He hasn't left us.
And two, you could make the argument
Okay,
that
I'm
Jose
sorry. I'm sorry for the Tito slander. That was a bit much.
and Jose did something.
You're crazy, Gab. I didn't expect this from you, Nick. I could see this slander coming from you, but
Okay, but
Gab.
like how many times did you have to see Miles Straw pick up a bat with an important bat
Way too
in the
many.
bottom of the ninth with 2 outs and the bases loaded?
But how many times
More
did I
than you
see
should.
Manny Acta win 45 games out of 162 with Shin-Soo Choo as a star player?
Yo,
Just
why
as
are we
many.
slandering Shin-Soo
Because
Choo?
he retired, so it's okay now.
Yeah. he
Okay, can
just
we
retired.
shift focus to the
All right.
Reds a little bit more? I have
Yes.
something I would like to add to the
Yes.
Ohio Cup
Please,
conversation.
please.
Yes.
Okay, did you guys? So when I went to All Star, I went up to Hunter Green and I asked him. I was like, "What's your thoughts on the Ohio Cup? Like we play this against you guys. It's pretty important to the Guardians." He goes, "Well, we don't really think about it in our clubhouse." Clearly, that's true. Clearly, that's true.
Well, if anybody's going to change that, it's Tito. We got to take a break, but before we do,
And it's us. We're gonna. It's
Yeah.
the fans. You know, we need some vitriol, like the same amount of like vitriol that you give the Yankees. Like,
Should we go
I'm
down
ready
there
to
this
give
year?
that to the Reds, to Great America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a long
Yes.
drive.
yeah, it
Well, we
is.
could get rowdy.
I got the
hate-
connects,
I
Jack.
hate-
I got the Cincy
hate-
connects. We
Oh,
could
yeah.
go take a road trip.
Yeah,
That
I'm in.
drive. I hate that drive.
Great ballpark.
What are you guys are driving?
Poverty team.
I can drive.
But before
I
we
drove
take our
last time.
first break, I want to get a consensus here. I feel like the answer is going to be no. Is betting on spring training degenerate behavior?
Yes.
No,
It
Yes
is
and no.
1,000,000% yes.
All right, Jack.
no.
Well, these guys haven't pitched in 5 months. It's not regulation games. And adding in even further, the janitor from your local middle school could be playing the 8th inning up until about March 28th, probably. Or, sorry, it's way too late. 8th, probably. So I don't know, man. I would not personally.
Gab, give
No
your
heart in the
defense.
game, clearly.
Gab, yeah. Gab, give your defense because I feel like I have a good one.
What else do I have to do?
Facts.
Okay. That's fair.
All right, how about this? It's spring training for the players. That's where the players go to learn,
Yes, I know where you're going.
relearn how to play.
gotta relearn.
That's
Exactly,
the same
we're
thing
getting
for
reps
me.
in.
You know, the amount of dumb bets that I'll place
Yeah.
in spring training, and I'll learn. In theory, I'll learn from those mistakes, and it'll make me better off come opening day.
Are you
Exactly.
guys
I'm
nerfy
betting
betters
on
at all?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. No, Nick is a nerfy junkie.
Reps.
Yeah.
Nerfy junkie. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to be talking about the Guardians 2025 outlook, where they stand in the AL Central, and more. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. We're brought to you today and every day, of course, by our great friends at Fairway Ford Ohio. Fairway Ford is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the state. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s as well as Super Duty trucks, and I promise you they will not be beat on price by any other Ford dealers. Do not let a short drive to Canfield, Ohio prevent you from saving thousands, yes, that's thousands, on your new truck. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing, and the same hometown level of service. Visit fairwayfordohio.com. That's fairwayfordohio.com.
Jack
All
got
right,
the fairway shirt on.
I do,
He does. Oh, is that? No, that's not new, but I don't think I have that one.
I think that's new to Jack.
It's new to me.
We
New to me.
were recording both of these, today's show and
Yeah.
we did 2 shows on Wednesday, so we had to change into whatever we had in the office, and that orange fairway shirt was the option for Jack.
Yeah,
and that's
and the
also
helmet.
how I got this.
This pre-record is going a lot better than the other
I
one.
don't like the other one we were operating on no sleep. You ever get a shirt and you open it like out of the bag, especially one like one like this? The smell
Oh,
is
it
just
smells horrible.
Like this.
Oh,
Needs
you
to
guys
get
don't.
wa-
You guys don't like that smell?
No,
That smell and the car smell I love.
like a new car smell.
Yeah. And another weird
that's
one.
valid, but
Another weird
Yeah,
smell
I've
I
heard
like that
people
people
say
hate. I like the smell of gasoline. I like the smell of cigarettes. And people hate both of those
Cigarettes.
smells.
Not
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Come on, that's where we draw the
Maybe
line.
when you're like drunk at like 3 a.m. and you have no
Not
will.
that,
Yeah,
I'm,
no,
not
they-
that I'm
at that
ripping
point.
darts here, Gab. I'm just saying, like, I don't mind the smell. You know.
All right, sorry. I feel like Ryan was trying to go somewhere. with this.
oh no, we got all the time. World is our oyster. Cleveland Guardians heading into 2025, guys, courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook. Cleveland Guardians plus 290 to win the Central. Tigers are plus 250. Twins lead it at plus 210. 3rd out of 5, fair, foul. What do you guys think?
It's fine.
Fine.
Too high, too low?
I think.
No, I think it's fine.
just about
Perfectly
right.
rated. Yeah.
Yeah, just about right. And I think like
It's rated.
it's up to them. It's up to them to overachieve on that. Like they didn't give us a whole lot this offseason. We kind of complain and moan about that about this time every single offseason. But there's nothing you can do. And we've seen, last year proof was kind of in the pudding. We did the same thing. We were complaining about how is this team going to get any hits? Who was even going to be out there? Similar story. This year at least they got a little bit of pitching. So we'll find it out. They keep finding ways to suck us back in. So here we sit.
Jack, I think you should familiarize Gab with your Will Brennan beef because
I mean, what?
I don't have beef with Will Brennan. I just.
I feel like you have beef with everyone on the team. Is there someone that you like on the team?
I would say I like
Jose.
18 of the 25,
Jose.
18 of the 25
Yeah.
players.
Okay.
18 of the 25 players on the roster are in the perfect spot that they should be in. But Will Brennan, I do believe that in order to win the World Series in a sport that has the Los Angeles Dodgers, you need a better right fielder than Will Brennan. I will.
I
say
don't
that.
think he's going to be every day.
I mean, if he's the 4th outfielder, that's fine with me. I
Right.
I don't like him as a starter.
Okay,
I don't know if
when
John
we're in the World
does it for me
Series,
as
it's
the
going to
right
be
fielder either.
Chase DeLauder out there, so we don't have to worry about that.
And hey, I'm a CDL guy, so that is more than fine with me.
well, the Guardians this offseason, you get rid of Josh Naylor, you get rid of Andres Jimenez, 2 fan favorites.
Rip.
You get Luis Ortiz in that deal,
Yeah.
of course, to shore up the rotation. Yes, we know probably a salary dump move at best, sending him up north to the Blue Jays, Andres Jimenez, that is. Everybody wants to complain about not making this crazy splashy move, but do the Guardians really ever do that? And in history of signing a big free agent, it hasn't necessarily really panned out. So I'm going into next season, I'm going to miss those guys, but at the end of the day, like, you get it, you're a small market business, but it will be sad. How are you guys feeling without Josh Naylor and Andres Jimenez next year?
It's weird when you talk about the money because you look back at the 2013 offseason or the 2012 into 2013, which was a big year for the team at the time with Manny Ecta switching into Terry Francona's first year. They go out and they overpay for Nick Swisher and Michael Bourne, and both those contracts work out terribly. Then you turn it forward a couple more years, you go to the World Series in 2016, which is probably the last height this franchise reached up until last year going to the ALCS. You go out, you sign Edwin Encarnacion, 3 years, $60 million. He only plays here 2 years, but he had 70 home runs while he was here. I thought that worked out, and they haven't really done it since. You can kind of tell when they get burned, like the Swisher and Bourne. They just had that happen again with Bell and Zanino. I think they're not going to spend for a couple of years now. I think they're really gun shy because is it their fault they signed a 34-year-old catcher coming off of double hip surgery? I would say so personally, but that's not for me to decide. But yeah, I mean, it's the same issue as last year. We don't have a catcher. I don't know if I have a bat that I love 4 through 6 right now. We don't have a right fielder, and we don't have starting pitching that is consistent that we know can stay healthy. But I'm looking for a Bobby breakout year.
So you just try to throw that Bo Naylor slander right under the rug,
Yeah, that was
huh?
just like so unnecessary. Come on.
What has he done?
He's a young guy. Just give him some time. He's gonna be good.
And I agree, Gab. I agree with that he could be good with time, but he needs to be good with time with a catcher platooning with him who could do something at the plate. And
Okay,
I'm
what
not.
do you
I
want?
love Austin Hedges. But you can't really platoon a guy who can't hit for shit with another guy who can't hit for shit. So that's
He's
where
gonna
my
be
issue
able to
comes
hit.
in.
Just come on. Just give him a chance.
Hedgie?
No, I'm
Oh,
talking about
Bo?
Bo Naylor.
I think Bo gets to the All-Star break. If it's not cooking and Cooper Ingles not ready, you go out and trade for a catcher, in my opinion.
Well, we shall see. Are we a Juan Brito truth show?
I think that's the option, right?
I think
I
so.
think I don't think it's gonna be him.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
You're saying opening day, you don't think so?
No,
But could you see down the line, you get to All-Star break, he's your everyday second baseman?
maybe. Yeah,
Still
sure. But
not
I think it's
really
gonna be
him.
Angel Martinez.
I love Angie. That's where my vote is too.
But I'm
Everyone-
not in charge. So who's gonna be out there? We don't know.
Well, Gab, the thing is, everyone loves to talk about Juan Brito's plate discipline, and rightfully so. But look at a guy, Angie Martinez, who was never that highly touted, walked in last year and was taking some of the best at-bats on the roster from day one. I think it's kind of crazy that Angie Martinez has almost been placed into this Venn diagram portion with the Schneeman, Arias, and Freemans of the world, and I don't think he should be
like
there
that.
whatsoever. No, he shouldn't be there. But I think Brito could work out, maybe more so in the outfield though at some point
There's
in time.
a swag factor too to Martinez.
does.
That, like,
Yes.
People
Yeah.
sleep on. Yeah.
Because he's like a little guy. He's got the big chain bouncing everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He just seems so cool and fun.
Yeah.
We need something like that.
We do need something like
switch
that.
hitter too.
Our guy David Fry obviously won't be playing the field for a while, but he's obviously back with the club. Jack, you're not the big fan of David Fry either, which I was telling you.
This show has just turned into Jack.
He was the most
one by one decimating the
clutch
entire,
player for the Guardians last
You
season.
sound just like a complete hater. Tell me 3 players on the team that you like.
I could go through. I could compliment every player on this roster if I wanted to. Don't get me wrong. These are the
Non-pitchers.
boys. You want pitchers or batters? Who should I compliment?
Batting.
Batting. Steven Kwan, just talking about probably the most elite leadoff hitter in the sport. Easy enough right there. You roll it down. Catcher Bo, we're going to skip him. Carlos Santana, one of the best eyes in the league. Incredible player to add back to your franchise. Andres
when
Gimenez
they
gone.
made that move, Jack in the group chat was complaining up a storm.
Not about
Yeah,
Carlos.
I bet
love
you
Carlos.
were.
You were.
Okay, Manzardo, let's
I
hear.
will-
What do you got about
there's
Kyle?
not Carlos. I was clamoring for Carlos over Josh Naylor earlier in the offseason.
Okay.
That's insane.
Um,
Kyle Manzardo?
Love Manzo, love CD. I
Great
mean, there's a bunch
mustache.
of guys I love. We just happen to hit on all the guys that I don't like because Ryan knows who I don't like.
Ryan's instigating a little
I
bit.
am instigating. That's what I do, though. I love how passionate Jack is about baseball and our Cleveland Guardians, and he's like every fan who gets frustrated that they can't get over the hump.
That's true.
David Fry's a solid 7-hitter or 6-hitter. I got nothing against the guy. Just in a lineup where you have a bunch of guys who can't they don't trust Manzardo to play anywhere besides first base. Carlos can't play anywhere besides first base. You have a backup catcher who can't hit and can't play anywhere besides first or catcher. You're kind of limiting your bench spots and where guys can play, and that's where it comes in with me. I don't know if we can roster David Fry when he can't field, when you're not really getting production anywhere else in the spots where he needs to be.
Hater. Gab, I feel like I know your answer to this, but who are they going to miss more, Jimenez or Naylor?
I think it's Jimenez.
I think so too.
Totally.
Are we asking from a fan standpoint, club
Oh, right.
standpoint,
No,
or
from
match-
contributing.
Okay. No, I'm curious. I didn't mean it either way. I was just
Contributing,
curious. Yeah.
Definitely.
I honestly kind of maybe both. Like I think, well, I don't know. Like Naylor, the fans definitely like Naylor, but from like a contribution, like what Jimenez did with his glove, like I think kind of gets slept on. Like there's gonna be a couple times throughout this year, like I'm already predicting it, where like something dumb is gonna happen in the infield, and Twitter's just gonna be all like Andres Jimenez wouldn't have done that.
It's going to be a 9th inning blown save.
Yeah.
It's exactly what
You
it's
know
going
who
to
we
be.
need to talk about though that we just haven't touched on?
Let's do it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
No, take the show.
control.
Take the show.
Grab that wheel, Gab.
This is our second show today, so we're kind of tired.
What's gonna happen with Rocchio? Is he gonna be good? Like what's the deal? Like he did have that little playoff.
He was
Whatever the heck
money.
that
He
was.
was
But is that
money.
gonna continue?
He was money in the playoffs. I mean, you talk about he was the best hitter in the
was
playoffs.
locked in, yeah.
Yeah, easily the best player, most consistent, without a doubt.
I've got my piece of paper from Rocchio State University. I am a 4-year graduate of the program. And yeah, let me tell you, and you guys want to get on me for hating the guards. Brian Urquio, one of my favorite players to watch, gonna be a great fielder, very similar. One, maybe not as good as Andres one day, but that's part of his game is gonna pick up. You gotta love a good switch hitter too, man. A guy who can see the ball from both sides of the plate. And maybe that was the confidence he needed. Like you can tell the way Jose and even Andres would play around with him in the dugout. Like he was like the little brother who they're kind of grooming up to be next. And I would love to see Rokes come out and have a strong first couple of months and win that job. And then you got Boz ready to go soon at second.
Rokes and Boz. I love that you just always give players nicknames.
And they're always the hockey.
You know them on a
nicknames,
personal
too.
level.
Yeah.
It's always.
Who was it, Nick, that he was calling and we were like, what?
Donovan.
Donnie. No, he's calling Donovan Mitchell Donnie.
Always call him Donnie.
People do that all the time.
Yeah, thank you, Gab. Thank you. Someone's here.
Yeah, but Jack does it like kind of like not ironically.
You know what? Like Donnie said the other day, and we're like, who?
Yeah.
How do we know?
Well, it's not like I'm like a Drake fan calling him Aubrey and just like saying, oh, like Aubrey did this
you
or
call
that.
him Drizzy.
Like, you know,
You do call him Drew.
You're
You call him
Drake fan?
Drizzy.
me?
Yeah.
What did I ever call him, Drizzy?
No. I'm making a joke. But Gab asked if you're a Drake
Yeah,
fan.
how about sidestepping that question?
Hey, Drake. No, I'm a Kendrick guy. Definitely a Kendrick guy.
All right, well, yes, the Guardians move on from two fan favorites in Jimenez and Josh Naylor. The Cavaliers had to move on from two fan favorites in Karis LeVert and George Niang to bring a new guy to town named DeAndre Hunter. We'll talk about that and more when we get back here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back into The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. We're flipping it over to basketball. NBA, our Cleveland Cavaliers said goodbye to two wonderful, wonderful players. George Niang, we know him very well here at Big Play, and Karis LeVert, as Rafa Hernandez Brito likes to call him, the Wolverine. I'm going to miss George Niang for as much shit as people gave him on Twitter for looking out of shape. Even though I'll tell you what, we saw him here in studio. He's an NBA player. He's not out of shape. He looked completely fine. Karis LeVert, Nick, you talk about all the time spinning the wheel of what NBA player is going to possess him.
That's my favorite.
You make this
I'm
move.
gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss spinning the wheel.
You make this move. You get under the tax apron. You bring in a guy who can slot into your starting lineup, who you hope will be the best wing that you've had here since, let's be real, LeBron James. We saw his debut. They get the win. They blow out the Timberwolves, hold them to what, 12 points, 16 points in the first quarter. 1 point is 20-1. This is a move you felt the Cavs needed to make, and credit to Kobe Altman for going out and doing it.
Gab, where were you when the trade went down, and what were your thoughts?
I was walking around Radio Row. I didn't even know that it
that's
happened.
right.
Some guy ran up to me and he's like, "Did you just see what happened?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see what happened." He's like, "DeAndre Hunter." And then it went, I'm like, I gotta go somewhere else because I need a good 10 to 15 minute scroll through the.
Nice.
Gab, isn't there something with you with being, is it a certain place where there's always bad sports news whenever you're there?
Marble Room?
Is Marble Room? So is that what it is? So what is
That's
the history?
kind of a bad place to have cursed, I feel like.
I know, like it's such a good time. And then we get Terry Francona to the Reds. We get Jimenez to them. It couldn't be any worse. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to miss George Niang and Karis LeVert, but this is a move you need to make if you want to contend with the Boston Celtics. You need somebody that will give you valuable minutes playing both offense and defense, somebody that can actually guard a guy like Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Dean Wade is that as well, but you need more than one. We all know that. We saw how that went last year.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the move. He's looked well. He looks like he meshes well. Obviously went to college with Ty Jerome, also a friend of Big Play who we had on here. And I'm excited for the season. I think the expectations were already at this point Eastern Conference Finals or bust. Still the same because you're going to be going against likely the Celtics. But now the NBA Finals expectations, they seem even more real than they were pre-trade deadline.
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, like I don't want to like pour like cold water on it. I really don't. But like Boston is still Boston, so like the playoffs still need to come. Like those games need to happen. They mean so much more. So like I'm not sleeping on anybody. But yeah, you make that move to contend with them and to contend for a championship. So I'm hopeful.
You know the best part about that trade too, as you guys both know me well as a Karis LeVert fan, and I was sad to see him go. He was my favorite player on the Cavs just because I was getting into basketball, and he's got a fun style to say the least. I'm just excited to go watch that guy take 30 shots a game, sometimes score 5, sometimes score 25 on the Hawks. Because now he can actually, like, you talked about how fun spinning the wheel is, Nick. Now you can, like, fully, like, the Wheel of Fortune, like, grab it a couple times and let it rip. Because he's going to get his minutes, get his looks now, which I love.
Quite the play style, being absolute trash or being God. Michael
It's
Jordan
awesome.
reincarnate. Yeah, I guess some people can make a living in the NBA doing that. I want to talk about the NBA All-Star game coming up.
Yeah.
Is anybody even remotely looking forward to this?
Yes.
Really? Gab, talk to me about it.
DG is shooting the 3.
We have
okay,
3
you're right.
players.
You're right.
Yeah.
We have 3 players there. I'm very excited. And I'm excited for Darius Garland 3-point contest, and I will be spending money on that.
Same.
Will it be a donation? Maybe, but I'm going to be excited to watch.
Yeah. I feel like and Saturday is what you watch for too. Like Saturday is kind of the fun night. Like Sunday, because Sunday you know what you're gonna get in the All-Star game. Like it's gonna be super high scoring. Like nobody's really gonna be taking it that seriously. I'm kind of confused a little bit by the format, and I've just accepted that every year I'm gonna be a little bit confused by the format. So like I'm not gonna make an attempt to educate myself on it. Instead, I'll rather just be surprised when and try to follow along on the broadcast. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. Like I love NBA All-Star, like dating back to like when I was growing up, like, all the fun All-Star games and like slam dunk contests that there were then. Like, I don't know. It's always kind of just a fun weekend, especially because there's nothing else going on. Like,
not to get too crazy off topic, but you did bring up the dunk contest, and one of my personal favorite memories from the dunk contest is the Dwight Howard cupcake with the Superman cape on. Did you guys see that Dwight Howard and his wife share a toothbrush? You guys see that on Twitter today?
Loosely,
no.
I saw a headline.
Isn't that the weirdest thing ever?
I kind of
that's
kept scrolling.
disgusting.
I mean, like, you don't have to do that. You have money.
Yeah.
And
Like, you have the money to have 2.
and even
Personal
more so, a toothbrush costs $1 maybe. Like you could get them. They
don't
give
need
you them
to do
every time you go to the dentist. In fact.
Hey, they're in
Yeah,
love,
may
guys.
that love never find me, because that would never happen.
Yeah. Where's he playing nowadays? Mongolia.
No, I think DeMarcus
No,
Cousins
that's
is
Boogie
Mongolian.
Oh
Cousins.
yeah,
Yeah.
I saw Brian Windhorst.
I think Dwight's in China.
Brian Windhorst is so funny, man. Because he said that with his whole chest. You're right. He's like he's playing in Mongolia. He's like, I'm serious about that, by the way.
I guess I should have asked more specifically if we're excited for the actual All-Star game, not the events leading up, because those are the things, in my opinion, that are still kind of worth watching, especially the 3-point contest and you have Darius Garland. We got to take one more break, though. When we get back, I want to ask Gab about Myles Garrett, Andrew Barry. You were actually at Radio Row, which is absolutely incredible. We'll talk about that and then wrap this thing up. Stick around. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network as we're wrapping this thing up. I want to get Gab's thoughts on Radio Row, Myles Garrett, Andrew Barry, the whole shebang. Gab, you were at Radio Row, and I was seeing some of your Instagram posts, all the cool stuff, all the cool people you met. I don't want to have it boil down and ask for one of the, like, what was the coolest interaction, the coolest person you met, but just tell me about that experience, and if you feel like throwing in who were the coolest people you met, by all means, please do.
It's always fun to go there. It gets a little overwhelming and a little chaotic because there's people walking around everywhere. You never know who you're going to see or who you're going to run into. But Radio Row, it's a very cool experience. Just to even walk around there and see what everybody's doing, that is very fun. I would say the coolest person that I talked to, I'm always going to say DeMar Hamlin. He's like one of my favorites. He's just such a nice guy. And I just hate the things that people say about him. It makes me so upset.
Yeah.
So definitely my favorite.
I ran into Gab last year at Radio Row. Funny enough.
Did you?
Yeah, it is. It's like
I didn't know you were there.
next year you guys get next year like we'll try to go. Like it's a zoo. It's hard to almost explain like what it's
Yeah.
actually like, and like I feel like the social media posts don't really do it justice of
No.
like how jam packed like every and any radio station or podcast like in the country just descends upon whatever the Super Bowl city is, and they pack them in like sardines. So you're literally just like, you know, an arm's length away from other radio stations and other than, you know, like athletes and people that kind of cycle through to do interviews. It's weird. It is definitely, and overwhelming is a great word for it too, by the way.
It's a clout chasing paradise if that's what you're
Yeah, big time.
into. If that's like your fix, that
But it-
definitely would do it.
And also to like when you leave there, like you need it, like you need to just like lie down for a
Sit in
little.
silence.
Oh, I
yeah.
can only imagine. Yeah.
My favorite part though is when the athletes have on like the random T-shirts for
Yes,
what
the
they're sponsored by.
sponsors.
Like I saw Jonathan Taylor with a Dairy Queen polo on. I'm
Or
like, he
lack
does
of
not want to be
T-shirts
wearing
in
that.
David and Joku's case.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, no, that is funny. Like, I forget last year, but there was somebody that was walking around with like 2 mascots from like Cricket Wireless. So like the mascots were gigantic. Like they were like the biggest mascot outfits that I'd ever seen in my life. And then just like some player, I honestly can't remember who it was, in like a Cricket Wireless shirt. Yeah, like everybody's there, you know, with their publicists like doing their ads. It's so funny.
Gab, have you ever been to New Orleans before this? And what was the city like? I've always wanted to go.
No, I've never been. It was very fun. I had a great time, but again, I am not one for crowds. I am not one for crowded places. I like to have fun, but I need to be in I don't want people near me when I'm having fun.
Did you
But it
go
was
to
a good time.
Did you go to Bourbon Street?
Yeah, for a little, but then I'm like, oh, I got to get out of here really fast.
Did you try Gator?
No,
Did you try beignets at the French Quarter?
I did.
You
Okay,
seem
I'm
very.
through my-
You seem
I've been to New
familiar.
Orleans twice.
Honestly,
Yeah,
you
I've
seem
been to
very
New Orleans.
familiar.
I mean, I had a good time. I had good food. It was warm, so that was good.
Did you see Jameis at all?
I was about
Oh
to
my
say.
God, yeah, I
did
saw
you see-
Jameis so many times.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I mean, how could you?
Our
not?
guy was everywhere.
I think he-
No, I saw him so many times. I took a photo at this party, like the Popeyes Don Julio party. I have a photo, and he's like walking through it, photobombing it.
That's so funny.
That's awesome.
He was everywhere. I think he was teleporting around
Yeah.
New Orleans.
Yeah, he has
like-
to be tired right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Well, Radio Row pretty much marked the end of, obviously, the Super Bowl marked the end of NFL season, but that was the precursor to that. Gab, are you tired of football? Do you need a little break here? Or are you going to miss it like we are?
I'm never tired of football.
There we
The only
go.
thing I'm tired of is watching the Cleveland Browns. But like,
Yeah.
Never
that-
tired
Speaking
of
of,
football.
you see Kadarius Toney got a mugshot going around.
yeah, what a
It's very
surprise.
special.
What is color me shocked? Another former Browns
Sorry.
player is a criminal.
awful.
That's fine.
It's guys, it's the truth. How many? I mean, I understand there's been a plethora of
Should we
NFL
list them
players
off?
that are criminals after they play, or even while during they play. We
Who
know that
was
all
the
too well
guy?
in Cleveland. It's an uncomfortable truth.
My favorite, if we had to rank our favorite ones, and this is this is so messed up. So like,
Oh,
I'm
God.
sorry for saying this. By far the funniest, like by far the biggest like WTF when it came across the timeline.
I know what you're gonna
was
say.
the dude that was walking around naked, like
Malik McDowell.
yeah, and,
Oh, I forgot about that.
like,
Wait,
the
I'm not,
Wasn't it a
I'm not
daycare?
hip to this.
on the what?
I'm not
What?
hip to this.
Are you kidding?
When
Brian,
did this
you
happen?
you worked here when this happened. I'm pretty sure.
No, this was a couple years ago now.
Yeah, this
wasn't
was
it?
like
2022
it was a
maybe.
while ago.
So-
2022.
it was when the Super Bowl was in LA because I remember people talking about it there.
They
That was the
signed
Burrow
this,
year. Okay, yeah.
They signed this dude, free agent D lineman off the street. You know, they found him on the local crime blotter.
He already had some like issues.
Oh yeah, he already had some
prior.
issues. Yeah, he had a rap sheet, whatever. They took a chance on him. He was actually like halfway decent. Like he
he had a good year,
Like he had
yeah.
a good year. And then just out of nowhere, like out of thin air, there were photos and videos of this guy butt naked, like definitely awesome, crazy.
It was really
drugs,
sad.
Just sauntering around, like I think it was in Florida, because
Yep.
people were saying like this guy, like he was laying on the ground, like the hot
Was it like
pavement
outside a
in
daycare?
Florida, like outside of a school, butt
Yeah.
naked, like on hot pavement. Like think about like on a hot summer day here
Mm-hmm.
in Cleveland, like how hot things are like. But then think about that in Florida.
No shoes.
He just
No
nothing.
shoes, nothing.
He just didn't want tan lines.
Just free balling.
It was really sad though. It was really sad to see.
It was, and honestly, it's kind of like even more sad. Like he's never really been heard of ever again.
While we're
No,
on this
I mean, like, how
topic,
could you?
But that was one of the most bizarre. Like if we're ranking like the most bizarre ones, like that's up there.
I mean, yeah, that's up there.
Perion's got to be up
that's probably more bizarre,
play.
but the one I immediately think of is when Jermaine Whitehead told Dustin Fox, "Don't get smoked, fuck ass cracker." I
Yeah,
thought that was
was-
crazy.
yeah.
That has to be up there in terms of what we're talking about.
How about it? I remember that so well too. Like he deleted his Twitter. Jermaine Whitehead
He just left it up.
Jermaine
Yeah.
Whitehead deleted his Twitter, but then so like you would think like okay he's cooling down, deleted his Twitter, but then I don't know maybe he couldn't reactivate or what. He just hopped onto Instagram and started doing the same thing on Instagram, and it was just like he was so hot. I remember like talking to some people that were in the locker room. That was in Denver, if you guys remember. And I remember people were saying like he was in his locker, like, you know, media availability, like you come in, you know, guys are like in, you know, their street clothes, like they're ready to go home. He was sitting in his locker, like full pads on his phone
Firing him off?
when the media like was allowed in, just fire him off. Like I one day will write a book about the 2019 Cleveland Browns. Like that was the
That's
most
an incredible year.
entertaining year of like
Antonio
Odell Beckham
Callaway,
and
right?
Antonio people forget Antonio Callaway got cut the same day of the Myles Garrett helmet swing. Odell in the clown
Same
shoes, Odell in the watch. You had Baker Mayfield, you know, refusing to shake hands with Richard Sherman, but then the video came out that he actually did shake
Was
hands
that
with him.
cheesecake year?
No,
No, Cheesecake was when
way
he was
later.
good. It was when he was good. It was when
Okay.
it came out.
So 2020? Right
I
down
don't
there?
I think so, right around.
Yeah, around
Yeah, yep, yep.
All right, well, we got to wrap this thing up. Before we get out of here, Gab, I'm going to make you make a prediction.
Oh, great.
Is Myles Garrett on the field for the Cleveland Browns week 1 next year?
No, he's gonna hold out.
Oh, so you don't think he gets traded, but you think he holds out?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think that's the way this is heading.
You think so?
Dude, you heard him say like
That would be a disaster.
what was
class.
his quote on ESPN? It would be. It's also so
Yeah.
unnecessary. Like, just if that's really what he wants, like, just trade him. But he said like I'm prepared to do whatever it takes. Like that's what that means. Like,
Yeah, I think hold out until he gets the biggest, fattest contract ever.
I don't, but that's the thing. Like,
231 million
$1
guaranteed dollars.
Yes.
all right, that would be
Sick.
funny. At that point, I'd be like, you know what? It's funny.
yeah, fair enough. All right, we got to head out of here. Gab, before we go, plug yourself.
You guys can find me everything, everywhere at Gab Goudy, GABBGOUDY. You can find me making fun of the Browns or talking good things about the Cavs or Guardians. See you there.
All right, Gab,
Yeah.
you will always go down as our first ever Big Factor reoccurring guest. Nobody
And
can.
first guest, I believe, too.
Wow.
Yeah,
First
no,
guest.
you're
Weren't
right.
you the
First
first
guest,
guest, Gab?
and
Do you
first
remember?
reoccurring guest. I think she was. I think you're right.
Wow.
No one
so
can ever
special.
take that away from you. Huge thanks to Gab Gotti for hopping on here with us. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Nick Padone.